Hello, everybody. Welcome to part 15 of Rise of the Runelords, our delicious Pathfinder campaign. We ended last time destroying a bunch of undead and bandits and shit like that, a bunch of shadow creatures and shit. So, this will be another entertaining part. We'll be streaming for, our typical 3.5, 4 hours. Or at least until we get tired. So, we're going to go ahead and hand it over to our GM, Split Lungs Blood Thunder, our partner streamer for the campaign. So remember to go drop him a follow if you have not. And this will be up on YouTube shortly after we do the stream. And so here we go, turning it over.
All right, so yes, that's a pretty good recap there. That describes it pretty well. You have just stopped a really creepy bandit camp. So far, you've fought a couple of shadows, as well as an undead, what appears to be a zombie, but much more powerful. You've come across several dead bodies, mangled, mutilated, and I believe, Dominicus, you found something very interesting on these bodies. Located on each of the bodies, among various different body parts, as you walked around camp, destroying the body parts, making sure that they were no longer usable to create any more undead. You noticed a very similar sign, either etched into their flesh or carved out. The seven-pointed star.
Evil little bastards.
Yes, I believe both Dominicus and Javier should be very familiar with that symbol by now.
Indeed.
The Thessalonians.
And with that, combat has dropped. Dominicus, you feel that the threat of undead is no longer within the area.
Good. Good.
Are there any signs of life at all?
Give me a... What are you looking for with life? Are you looking for tracks or...
Well, it was a note that brought us here, right? Like someone was going to be murdered or something. I think it was a lady was going to be killed or something. So I was just going to, since we're here
So
anyway,
you're
look around for her.
looking for the hostage?
Yeah, or see if I can figure out what became of her.
Alright, give me a perception to look through camp.
Alright, give me one sec.
Alright. In the center of camp, there is a large set of tables. Food still fresh and on the table. A few bites taken out here and there, but for the most part, it remains uneaten. The campfire nearby, to the east, is still glowing embers, with a pot sat above it. There are several tents surrounding the area.
I rolled a 9 on the perception check.
Nothing really stands out to you in the surrounding area. Alright, Kathos. What are you searching?
Just, looking around at the general affairs of things and, looking into tents and stuff.
Alright. As you look around camp, you find several different usable items that you think might be of use. You find 8 camping kits. You find 16 trail rations. You also find several sacks of jewelry. In fact, 8 sacks. On each of the bandits, you find a set of studded leather, a buckler, so 8 studded leather, 8 bucklers, 8 composite longbows with a strength value of 1, you find 80 arrows, a rapier, 4 short swords, and 3 daggers. But something interesting comes up. After you finish searching the camp and looting the bodies, you make your way to the northmost tent. Inside, there is a foul stench in the tent. As you open the flap to the tent, it hits you. The scent of death. In fact, undeath. The inside of the tent can be only best described as a bloody mess. Inside appears to be a flayed carcass of a woman. Her entrails pulled out from her body, drug across the dirt floor, covering the walls. Several bites taken out. She appears to be tied to a post set on the ground. On her forehead is carved deep into the flesh a 7-pointed star.
Looks like we didn't make it in time, everybody. Hmm. Uh, Perhaps we should go back to town. There's nothing else.
Hold up a sec. God damn it.
Hmm.
Trying to find the spell that lets me talk to dead people. Don't suppose you
Nice.
remember.
I believe it's called Speak with Dead.
Indeed.
Dominicus casts Speak with Dead on the corpse. So I get 2 questions per level, so I get like 12 questions.
I think that's for spell level.
Oh, is it? You mean my caster level?
Yeah, caster level.
Okay, my caster level is level 6.
Alright.
Correct.
Yep.
Rip.
Yeah, so I get 12 questions. Okay, so first question. Do you know who killed you?
Alright, Dominicus. You hold on to your silver divine focus to Saren Ray. Call upon her to
Gold.
bring forth gold. That's right, you left the silver one with the blacksmith.
That's right.
Yes. And call upon Saren Ray to bring the soul of this poor creature back to her body. After about 10 minutes, eventually her body begins to twitch. You notice her body begins to vibrate a bit, holy light emanating from her mouth and eyes, before she snaps to life and looks up at you. What what do you ask of me?
Do you know who killed you?
They killed me. The bandits.
Do you know anything of who commanded them?
I do not know specifically. I only heard talk from within this tent. They kept saying his name, your lordship. He seems to be the one in charge.
Can you tell us anything about what he looks like? Did you ever see him? I guess that's 2 questions. Sorry. I'll go with the first
No,
one.
I have seen nothing. I've been tied here, blindfolded.
Dominicus relays the information that he's learned to everybody else and asks if they have any other questions that might help us.
You said they kept saying his name? What is his name?
She said his lordship.
His name is his lordship?
That's as far as she knows.
Well, damn. um. Do you know anything about the undead that were here?
I know nothing of undead.
Where did the bandits hide the good items?
The good items.
Yeah, like their stash of gold or prized possessions.
I am but a prisoner.
Is this really the time for this?
I do not know where one might keep good items.
Is there anything that you might be able to tell us that would help us bring these people to justice?
Stay away. These men are evil.
Why did they take you prisoner?
I do not know. I was walking in town, going to visit the shop. I needed flour to make dinner for my family. And then that was it. I was knocked out. I woke up here. I do not know why they torture me. Why they hurt me and my family.
What's the name of your family?
My family is fairly new here in Sandpoint. Idris is my family name. We hail from Magnamar.
I have one last question for you, Spirit. As a cleric, is there anything that I may do to help ease your transition into the next world?
Let me be free. Bring my soul back. I do not wish to be near the evils she calls the mother of monsters. Lamashtu desires my soul.
Dominicus turns around. Well, I think we're out of questions.
And with that, she begins to shake violently, stuck to the post. As a faint scream can be heard, the light diminishing, her head cocking back, and then slumping back over.
I think that we should take her body back to town and find her family so that they might at least have some closure. National she.
Javier agrees with that.
Alright. Dominicus is gonna go rip one of these not blood splattered tents down. Well, this one's
Here.
already knocked over, so I'm gonna just go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah, you'd remember that that tent is mostly burned down. At least the top of it is.
Oh, it's burnt. Never mind. Okay, I'll grab this one.
Alright.
So, I'm going to wrap her remains up in this cloth after I cut her free from the post.
Okay.
Okay, so after we've got her all bundled up and stuff, we'll go ahead and lay her across the back of the big horse. Wherever he might be. Alright, let us get out of here.
Alright. Y'all are headed back to Sandpoint?
Sure am, not gonna be carrying around this rotting corpse.
Very good. Korvik, are you walking?
Yeah, we're walking, and I assume the horse is carrying the corpse.
All right, Corvick, give me that ride check.
Dominicus taps him on the back and blesses him. So 15.
All right. Yes, Corvick, you managed to stay in the saddle the whole way. And let's whoosh. By the time you make it back into town, it's fairly late afternoon. The sun is starting to set, and you notice most people are actually heading back into their homes. The streets seem a little more empty than usual.
Okay, Dominicus is going to say, I suggest that we maybe head to the mayor's office. I assume that considering this town is so small that she has to have at least met this family of this poor deceased girl.
Did we didn't find out where her family lives, did we?
She said in Sandpoint that they
Oh.
were fairly new to Sandpoint, which means that the mayor probably has met them, considering that in a town like this, you'd probably have to check in with the mayor for the ability to, move into the town.
Alright. I'm down with going to the mayor. We do need to get rid of this body.
I agree. Going to the mayor's office would probably be the best bet to find out where she lives. And I should probably heal myself as well since we're back in town.
All right. I'm probably going to regret this, but I gave you the ability to control the "You Are Here" party marker so that you may move throughout the town as you wish.
Where's the mayor's office again?
Javier, Javier, where is the mayor's office again?
Hmm.
Let's see if this works.
Damn it. Dominicus would know.
Could we just ask the townspeople?
Well, he wrote it on there. That was pretty damn effective.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna start doing that.
So here.
Alright, you make your way through the streets and to the town hall. For dusk and for most people going home, it seems a little bit busy for this time of day. At the front door, you notice there are 2 guards posted outside. Javier, you notice 1 guard posted outside.
Damn it. I was trying to roll that a little earlier, just because you said we noticed it was busier. Just trying to see if I could feel the mood out, but I don't think so.
Yeah, so, we're going to head into the town hall. and meet with the mayor. Mayor Devlin. Haha, remembered.
The two guards at the door greet you happily. Thank goodness you're here. I'm sure the mayor would like to have a word with you. Please come in.
Alright, tie the horse up outside.
As you enter into the mayor's office, pull up her picture here. You can see that she's actually having a meeting with 4 of the town guard.
I'm sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt.
She looks up at you. Ah, I see. I'm glad you're here. It's been a bit troublesome in town. We've received several reports of murders within the town. In fact, I was just briefing my guardsmen here that they should stay posted up for the night, and I believe we're going to enact a curfew.
I don't believe that would be a bad idea.
What what were the nature of these murders? Like cause of death? Were there any of the people who were killed shared in common or anything like that?
Well, so far the news is still fairly new to me, but I've received reports that a body washed up on the shore recently. Her body covered in mud, but she seems to have been brutally murdered. Several of her bones crushed, gashes in her neck and face.
Did she have any mark on her body that resembled this? Dominicus points to Javier's necklace.
I'm afraid I don't know that much yet. I have yet to see the body, but I have received this report that she was found. I'm currently having the guard investigate. You're, of course, free to take a look if you'd like.
I believe that there might be something we can learn from the body.
Most certainly, most certainly.
In the meantime, let me ask you one quick question.
Yes, of course.
Would you happen to know where the Idris family resides? We seem
Idris.
to have found their daughter, and not in the state I believe they wished that we would have.
Yes, the traders from Magnamar. I remember I met with them several weeks ago. I believe they, gosh, what did they trade? I'm sorry, I'm a bit frazzled at the moment. But yes, they were supplying the general store, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, there's a lot going on at the moment. But yes, they were traders.
Do you have any idea where they live?
I believe they were just staying at the inn until they found a house that they liked.
Then we will check there.
Yes, definitely. I do hear that they like to frequent the White Stag. You know how those traders are.
Well, thank you very much for your time. And we'll
Yes.
head to the mortuary to check out that body as soon as we can.
We'll be checking back in as we learn more.
Certainly, I much appreciate your work here. I apologize for having to meet you so soon about this.
No worries. It's understandable. Times are dire indeed.
Yes, if you would like to speak with any of the town guard. The garrison, of course, is just across the street. Or if you'd like to see Father Santos, I believe some of his clerics were attending to the body.
So should we go see Father Santos since he's got the body?
I believe that we should probably stop by the Idris family households or the inn and search for them first so that we don't have to continue to parade this poor girl's corpse around the town.
Oh, yeah, good point. Well, the White Stag is where I stay, so shall we?
Lead the way then.
All right, Javier. As we get to the White Stag, he just saunters into the door. You know, this is his place. He loves everyone.
Dominicus says, "Is your cat still around?"
Huh. I don't know. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her in a while.
Actually, Javier, as you enter into the door, you are greeted by a familiar meow.
Oh, Glitter. I'm gonna pet her. And
She begins purring at the sight of you,
I'm gonna.
and then circles around your legs, rubbing against you.
Oh, sweet kitty. Hang on one sec. Handle animal check coming in.
She meows and stands up on two legs, reaching up to hold on to your legs, looking up at you.
Oh, I pick her up and I pet her.
She nuzzles up to you and begins purring loudly.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Huh.
cute.
I'm gonna carry her over to the bar and get her some milk. Get the bartender to give her some milk. And then I'm gonna keep petting her and ask the bartender if he knows anything of the Idrises. I hear they like to frequent this place.
Yes, the familiar old man, Garridan, is behind the bar this afternoon. He looks up at you quietly and nods at you. I see you've made it back. Welcome, welcome. It seems your friend is happy to see you.
Oh, and I'm glad to see her too. Tell me, sir. I've heard that a family named Idris is staying here. Could you perhaps point them out to me, or tell me how I might find them?
Ah, yes, the Idrises. They have been staying here of late. However, lately they seem to be a bit to themselves. They've gone out for most of the day. I believe they were looking for someone. They didn't really tell me, but uh, I actually don't believe they've even made it home yet. They should be due back any moment. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a guard who came by about an hour or two ago, saying there would be a curfew tonight.
Well, when they come in, could you please point them out to me or one of my friends here? And I gesture back towards everyone else. If you do, and I put a gold on the table, it would be greatly appreciated.
He looks down at the gold. Ah, yes. Well, that's no problem. As I said, she should be home shortly. At least, sometimes the male stays out late, but lately they've been staying together. So yes, the Idrises should be back soon.
I thank him, and give Glitter another pat, and then I go tell everyone what he just told me, that they've been staying here, and they're not here at the moment, but they are due back sometime soon. And he said he will point them out to us once they get here.
Well, then perhaps we should head to the cathedral. That way we can lay this poor girl's body in the mortuary until they arrive, at least.
Javier, you guys go on. I have something else I need to do.
Okay, then.
I'm gonna go to the magic school.
Okay. So I guess I myself and Kyrie and Kathos are going to go to the cathedral.
Okay.
And I will accompany them to the cathedral.
Alright, you make it down a few blocks south and make it into the cathedral. You can see a few more spots of blood in the entryway. And yet again, there are guards posted outside the door. They respectfully nod to you and open the door.
Kathos, would you mind helping us with the body? He gestures to the corpse.
Kathos looks at him and then looks at Kyrie. Kyrie nods.
Alright, you make your way into the church. And one of the alcoves appears to be very busy. You can hear Father Santos' voice from a distance, demanding more supplies.
Okay, we're going to, first of all, I'm going to move towards the mortuary and go put this poor girl's corpse in it. And talk to whoever is there and let them know who it is. If they could hold the body for family viewing.
One of the clerics greets you. He's accompanied by a soldier. Ah, Dominicus. Yes, I'm grateful to see you back, though I wish it were under better circumstances.
As
There's
do
this. Yes. He looks down. I see, things may have gotten worse. He looks over your shoulder back at Kathos.
Indeed, we found this note, and he hands them the ransom note. And we believe she is the heir to the Idris family, and we wanted to see if we might hold her body here in the mortuary until we can have her family come and view it.
Yes, of course. I'm afraid we've been a bit busy today, but yes, you can set her over there. Points to another nearby table. We were currently investigating this poor woman's corpse. She washed up on shore earlier today. Her face and neck mutilated. Her body broken and crumbled.
Is this her here? Dominicus points.
Yes. I'm afraid I had the misfortune of this guard here bringing her to me today. I've been investigating and found a few strange things such as a very odd carving in her forehead.
Gonna go ahead and look at that.
It is the same 7-pointed star.
Sigh. I was afraid of this. Come, look at this. Dominicus pulls back the top part of the wrapping on the Idris body to show the other cleric.
The cleric's eyes grow wide as he looks down upon the body. By the gods. This poor woman.
Yes, I'm afraid that she may have met a similar fate as the other girl over there. And even more so terrifying, I'm afraid they may not be the last ones.
No. I'm afraid we might be dealing with something bigger here. In the wake of these goblin strikes, now we have what appears to be a murderer. I do not understand his sign, but I'm sure Father
Unfortunately,
Santos will want to see this.
unfortunately, we do. Or at least I do. Which I believe is why I should speak with Father Xantus post-haste.
Yes, he is currently busy tending to some very sick people at the moment. I would not advise going near him. But I'm sure he should return here very shortly. I can call for him if you'd wish.
I would hate to disturb him. If anything, I'd like to offer my help. But I also wouldn't want to get in his way.
Certainly. I'm afraid we had some others come in today with some very curious illness. One the likes I have not seen.
Well, then I may actually want to take a look at this.
Well, he's just in the alcove over to the south. I have much work to do, unfortunately. He looks over the bodies. And then back to the guards.
Then I'll leave
Yes.
you to your work, of course.
The guard stops you before you walk out. Yes, I see that you brought this other body here. I'm sure Sheriff Hemlock would like to have a word with you tomorrow about this, whenever he returns from his trip.
Of course, then.
Yes. We always appreciate your work, heroes.
No, we're simply doing what must be done.
He salutes you and then walks out the room.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and walk back out and let everyone know what happened in the room about finding the other body with the same mark on the forehead, and so we should probably speak with Father Xantus and let them know everything that we've learned. Possibly give them this book. Dominicus pulls the journal out. However, it seems that some serious illness has struck in the city, so we should all take extreme precaution. Dominicus pulls the bottom of his cloak up further so that just his eyes are visible. So, if you'll excuse me, I believe I should meet with Father Santos.
Certainly. By now the cleric has already begun to continue examining the body and preparing for rituals to pass them on to the grave. Alright, you're headed down to the alcove with Father Xantus.
Okay. I will sit and wait in the cathedral until Dominicus comes back after speaking with Father Santos.
Alright, Dominicus. Inside of one of the alcoves, you see Father Santos and two other clerics busy tending to two people. These people literally seem green with illness. Nearby, they have buckets, constantly throwing up, exasperated, dry heaving, mucus flowing from their eyes, ears, nose, and mouth.
Dominicus approaches, at a reasonable distance, but still close enough to be able to, get a good eye on them. And I'm going to use my heal check, but I'm going to do it after I bless myself. So, 28. Have I seen anything like this before?
As far as you can tell, this appears to be nothing that you've seen or read in any of your texts as far as physical illness. You do recognize the symptoms as very, very severe sickness, extreme nausea, in a finger on nose kind of sense. They are in the sickened state.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I can remove this, right? How many people are here?
You can see two sickened people.
Okay.
Father. Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to approach Father Santos. Hail, Father Santos.
Father Santos whips around. Let's get his face out here. Alright, Father Santos whips around. Most of his face covered by a linen cloth. Ah, Minicus. I never thought I'd be happier to see you. We've, as you might well have seen, had a couple of new patients today who've come down with a very odd illness. No matter what I do, they just can't stop to seem throwing up. As you can see, mucus flows from every orifice.
Indeed. They do not look well at all. I believe that I might be able to help. I'm not sure, but I've got something I'd like to try.
Yes, certainly. Be my guest. I hate to say, but some of these clerics just aren't that much help at times.
Okay, so Dominicus is going to walk up to these two diseased people and pull a paw from each arm of his cloak and channel remove disease in each hand and touch them on the forehead.
Are you casting 2 iterations?
I mean, I can do it, It's creature touch, so I can do them one at a time. I just thought it'd be cool to roleplay it as touching both of them at the same time.
Alright, just making sure you have enough to do 2.
Oh yeah, I can do it 3 times.
Cool. Alright. Yes, the 2 people lying down, eyes rolled back in their heads, a pale pastel greenish color across their body, slowly begin to regain their color. Their eyes roll back and begin to look forward at you. As slowly They start to regain breathing, no longer exasperated to expel whatever sickness may be inside of them. One of them looks up at you. You, you, thank you. A middle-aged man says to you, "What? How did you do this?"
By the will of Sarenrae, my friend. Now you should rest.
He looks over to the woman next to him and attempts to reach out a feeble arm to take her hand, but cannot go more than an inch. Ah, my beautiful wife. Ah, thank you. And he closes his eyes and begins to fall asleep. Father Santos, eyes wide, looks you over. I see. You've learned a few new tricks, Dominicus. I knew the church could always count on you. Not that I'd wish to have to.
It's never a problem, Father. I only do what I wish. I only do what I can, and I wish to do even more every day.
Ah. He begins to pull down his mask. You can see dark rings under his eyes. He looks incredibly tired. Dominicus, I'm not sure if you saw in the other room, but this isn't the only tragedy that's befallen the town today.
Indeed, that's what I originally came here to speak with you about. I pulled the journal from my cloak. I might be able to shed a bit of light on what's happening here, and hand it to Father Santos.
Father Santos takes the book. Yes, let's take a seat and we'll review this material here.
Indeed, you do look like you could enjoy a rest.
He walks out of the alcove into a nearby chamber, sits down with the book, and lights a candle. One second here. Ah. His interest slowly falls and fades as he reviews the text. You can hear him muttering to himself, "Monsters. Lamashtu. I see. Dominicus, where did you find such a book?"
In Thistletop, there seemed to be ancient ruins underneath it. This was one of the items contained there, as well as a recording of some sort of magical display of an ancient being.
Yes, these texts here describe Lamashtu's powers, the mother of monsters. It describes how to convert oneself into a monster in service of Lamashtu. Fiendish text.
Indeed.
And you say Thistletop. Is that not the goblin hideout?
It was.
I see.
I
Do you
believe that
believe
we
the
may have.
goblins...
I believe that we may have encountered one of these people who is attempting to create themselves as a monster as well.
people? You don't surely mean one of the goblins.
No. I mean, someone like me.
He studies you for a second. I see. So there are clerics to Lamashtu around?
I believe so. I believe that's exactly what she was.
But why? They... He looks back down into the book and begins observing chapters about sacrificial offerings, one of which describes burning a life in order to sacrifice to Lamashtu. I see. You don't think the goblin raids?
I'm afraid that's exactly what I thought.
I see. It seems you have stumbled into a much bigger, darker plot than what I'm afraid we were first led to. First, goblin raids, then Tobin's crypt.
Well,
Now this.
we will continue to do what we can to fight back. We're not going to let these horrible creatures have their way. In the meantime,
Yes.
however, or at least in the immediate, I think all of us could use a little rest.
It definitely... He looks to one of his nearby clerics. You, cleric, please go take that family to some of the rooms to recover and out of the operatory. Ah, yes, what were they called again? Dahl? Dahl and Ingsal. Yes, the new Idrises. I'm sure they will be glad to speak with you if you'd like, once they arise.
I have a feeling they might not be as happy as you think.
Why is that?
I'm afraid that the young girl that we brought in here with us, or should I say the young girl's body that we brought in here with us, is their daughter. I had no idea until you said their last name.
I see. Father Santos looks down. These are troubling times. I assume you've already taken the body to some of my clerics.
I did indeed. They should be preparing it for last rites as we speak.
Father Xanthus sighs. I see. They will be most displeased to hear of this.
As one would imagine. Perhaps we should let them rest until tomorrow.
He closes the book and meagerly stands up. Yes, I guess there is more business for me to attend to. Thank you, Dominicus. I'm afraid we've already used all of our potions, but You
Think
have our
nothing of it.
eternal debt.
I did what needed to be done, and that is all. I shall return tomorrow, and we will speak with the Idrises, and I and you will speak again. Until then, I suggest all of us get some sleep, for there's more than likely a lot more to be faced tomorrow.
Father Santos nods quietly and begins to walk away.
Okay, I'm gonna go meet up with the rest of the party. So, Corvic, Dominicus says, I think it's time that we take a look at some of those wounds that are plaguing you.
Yes, please. I would appreciate it ever so much.
Alright, so Dominicus lays a hand on Corvic and yeah, pulls components from his pouch. You bastard, this is expensive. Yeah, so Dominicus is going to cast Lesser Restoration on Corvic. So I'll subtract 100 gold. I believe that you should be able to sleep the rest of the effects off.
Yes, thank you very much. Once again, you've come to my aid, and I appreciate it.
Dominicus, a lesser restoration only requires verbal and somatic. I think you're looking at regular restoration.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was. Yeah. Yeah, the higher restoration, it cost 100. My bad. So I don't even have to use anything for this. Woo!
Yep. Right.
I was about to say, it costs fucking diamond dust to do greater restoration. Like, fuck!
I know, right?
Yeah, I guess greater restoration is more for vampires. Because it's a permanent drain restore.
Yeah, that is some lethal stuff.
Yeah, fucking vampires, yo. Fucking level draining you.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, hate that shit. That's what undead hunters are for. Immune to level drain. Okay, so I'm going to gather up the rest of the party that's here with us and suggest that we head back to the White... Well, no, they're not at the White Stag Inn anymore. We know where they are. They're upstairs resting. So, yeah, we're going to head to the inn that we stay at. Not the White Stag, the other one. Where's that at? Like right here or something? Over here?
Let me get you the exact coordinates, but it should be right here. IRC, let me make sure. Alright, so you're headed back to the Rusty Dragon? Yep. Alright. By now it's starting to get a bit late. Let's see if I have a more chill late noise. There we go. Alright, you make your way back to the Rusty Dragon.
Okay, before too much time goes by, have I gotten to the school yet?
Yeah, let him do his academy stuff.
Yes. I actually wanted to do that.
I mean, once we get back to the inn, all we're gonna do is, I'll give everybody a ration or two, and then I'm going upstairs after I pay the clerk to go, rest.
But yes, Javier,
Yes.
the academy seems to be closed.
Ah. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Give me a knock check.
Is that a skill?
Give me a strength check to see how hard you knock.
Okay, hang on a sec. 9.
Alright, Javier.
You break your own.
Yes, you knock the. Give me a fortitude. No, no. You know what? Roll the fortitude. Let's see if you break your fingers.
What?
Oh,
Not
you made
today.
no.
Not today.
Your knuckles are made of, one might even say, dragon claw. And you make a hearty knock that echoes into the empty chambers of the academy. A minute or two passes, and then you hear a familiar voice from behind the door. Who is it?
Master Ilsauri, it's me, Javier. I'm sorry to disturb you after hours, but I have some interesting news for you, and I was wondering if you could perhaps help me sort some of this out.
There's a long pause. Yes. Alright. Is it just you?
It's just me.
After another pause, you hear a familiar clack, and then the door opens.
Alright. And then, okay, so I'm gonna walk in, and I say, perhaps we should take this conversation into your office. You may want to sit down for this.
Yes, certainly. He closes the door and locks it tight. What have you got to show me, Javier?
So as we're walking, I ask him, "What do you know about the Thessalonian wizards?"
That's. I do remember reading about an ancient people, the Thessalonians. Gosh, it was many, many moons ago when I was very deeply interested in the history of the land.
Hmm. Well, Master, uh, my companions and I were in the woods earlier, just outside of town, and we came upon a camp of bandits, and all of them were slaughtered. And they all, not only were they all slaughtered, but they were undead. They turned undead, and there were undead that came out from their camp. And all the bodies, and I pull out my medallion, I say, all the bodies had this symbol, this star symbol, carved into their foreheads. And I know this to be the symbol of the Thessalonians. So I wonder, is there any information or anything you can tell me?
With a hand on one of the chairs, he stops dead and looks over the medallion. I can't say I've ever seen anything like that before. In fact, your talk of the Thessalonians, I only thought that was just ancient hearsay. You say you found this where?
I found this in Thistletop on a woman who was trying to become some sort of fiend or something. She had the markings of Lamashtu on her, and
Lamashtu, the mother of monsters.
yes, the very same. And this isn't the only thing we found with this symbol on it. Uh, the cleric that I travel with, he has a ring that makes this symbol in a shield when he uses the power word for it.
I see. Ancient arcane artifacts, are you suggesting?
Perhaps. I mean, this is the sign of the Thessalonians. I can't imagine. Oh, and not only that, while we were down in Thistletop, there were all these statues of a man with a glaive and a book. And now we come back, and there's bodies and undead outside of town with this symbol. It just seems strange, doesn't it? Is there anything you can tell me at all? Anything you remember? Anything about any of this?
I'm afraid this is all news to me. I mostly deal with the minor arcane teachings in local history, but this this is unknown to me. You would need someone who is more of an archaeologist,
Hmm.
someone well versed in that kind of lore.
Do you know of anyone like that here in town?
Ha! These bumpkins. I should not.
Hmm.
Even the children have a tough enough time with basic mathematics to at least know how to barter and trade. What good is it a port town if they can't keep their own charters?
Hmm.
But in more serious fashion, no, I'm afraid I do not. Perhaps someone in Magnamar might know. There are a few more civilized people there.
Hmm. Magnamar, you say?
It's not too far southwest of here. We do sometimes get visitors, and I might barter for a book here and there from their libraries.
Hmm.
but as for anyone here, I do not know.
So, you, where would you recommend if I were we to travel to Magnamar in search of someone who could tell us about this? Where would you recommend we go, or at least start the search?
It's a fairly large town. There are many places you could search. I would start by finding a library or any kind of academy. I'm sure they can set you in the right place.
Hmm. All right. Is there a school like this in Magnamar?
As I say, I only barter with them. I don't typically make the venture. You must understand, I am a very busy man here.
Hmm. Very well, sir. Hmm. All right.
However, I believe, what was his name? I can't remember the keeper of the library, but I believe they called it the Great Library.
Hmm. Well then, I guess that's where we'll have to start. Sir, before me or my companions, I assume they're going to want to look into this more you know, at some point, uh, because it does seem to have something to do with what's all these all these events going on, goblins, goblin raids, and now murders. And both events had this star associated with them. Hmm. It's strange indeed. Sir, I
You
can.
always tend to kick up trouble, don't you?
Yes, it seems to follow me, but
Indeed
luckily
it
I'm
does.
always there to quell the problems. uh, Sir, I do need more training, and I think we're going to have to put some of the long hours in to because I don't know how much time I have, in terms of days. So I'm going to need to maximize my efforts during that time. We could give you, I don't know, 600 gold to cancel class for the next 3 days. Teach me.
He strokes his beard and looks you over. Okay, okay. I'm beginning to get a feeling that imparting knowledge into you might actually be a good thing. Yes, I'll take the deal.
Very well. I reach out and I shake his hand and I take out 300 and put it on the table and I tell him that, you know, I will give him the rest at the end of the third day. Well,
All right.
I take out the whole 600, separate it into three so that he knows I'm good for it. And then I leave three and keep three. See what I'm saying?
All right. He picks up the 300 gold and tucks it away in his coin purse. Yes, shall we begin? I assume you'll be wanting night lessons.
Indeed. Thank you, sir. And then, yeah, and then I'll start doing whatever he wants.
All right. We'll take you into another room and begin discussing arcane mysteries with you, explaining how spells can be used offensively, defensively, or in a utilitarian fashion.
Hmm?
He also describes how certain physical attributes can affect these spells in different ways. And time lapse.
All right.
I believe that should take us to the Rusty Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, am I going to stay at the academy, or I don't? I just want to know because if not, I'm gonna. If I can't stay there for like the night or whatever, I'll go back to the White Stag to see if those people come back. Oh wait, no, we've already. I don't. Yeah, I'll meet up. If I don't stay there at night, I'll go meet up with everyone else at the Rusty Dragon to catch up with them.
Yeah, he's willing to give you about a 2-hour crash course.
Okay. All right, so I'll do that, and then afterwards, I'll go meet up with everyone else and tell them what I found out. See what they found out.
Right, so you went to the Rusty Dragon or the White Stag?
I'm gonna go to the Rusty Dragon first and wind up at the White Stag before the night's over.
Gonna get a little liquid courage before you break the news?
Well, I know that's where everyone else stays, so might as well go catch up with them before I turn in for the night. And yeah, I'm gonna get some of that Dragon's Breath whiskey or whatever it's called. Before I have to tell a family about how their daughter was brutally slaughtered by bandits and undead.
Alright, Javier. You make your way into the Rusty Dragon and find the group already sitting down at a table.
All right, I'll walk up to them, tell them, hey guys, I was just meeting with the master of the academy, and I asked him about this symbol that we keep seeing, the Thessalonian symbol, and he said he didn't know too much about it, but that someone, the library keeper in Magnamar, may know something about it. Um, what have you found out? Also, I think it would be a good idea to travel to Magnamar and visit this library keeper at some point. Uh, but
Damn it, ignore that.
I do need to stay in town for a few more days as I'm spending quite a bit of money for some private lessons.
Aye. And I should probably go talk to the blacksmith. And we also have to go break the bad news to the family. And I explained the situation to Javier real quick about the whole healing them and then finding out that it was their daughter and that we found another body with the same thing carved in its forehead. So yeah.
It sounds like it might be worth investigating more into this, or traveling to Magnamar. Apparently, it's not too far southwest of here.
Indeed. Uh, we happen to know right where it is.
Perfect. So what should we do?
Well, I suggest that we rest for the night. I'm almost out of divine focus. And then we should probably, in the morning, talk to the the sheriff of the town. I was told by a guard that he might want to meet with us before we leave town. Then, as I said, we should probably split up and do whatever else we need to do. Meet back at the cathedral and talk to this poor girl's family.
Indeed. So I've paid the headmaster for 3 days of lessons, like full day, like he's canceling class.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna be busy during the day.
Alright.
But I will catch up with you guys at the end of each day here around this time. And if you're not here, uh, then let me at least tell the bartender where you went, so I'll know where to go to get the bodies.
Indeed. Don't worry. We'll make sure that you know where we are.
Excellent. And then I guess I'm gonna go to the White Stag after a few rounds of dragon whiskey.
All right, Javier. After you sit down at the table and have a conversation with the group, you're met by a familiar face.
Hello.
Ah, I see you're back. Welcome back, Javier,
Hmm.
O singer of songs, slayer of evil.
Hmm.
Do you care for a drink?
Oh yes, yes indeed. I'm having dragon whiskey. It's not every
Certainly.
day you find a young girl slaughtered in the woods.
Your somewhat happy expression to see you turns dark. What now?
Oh, it's nothing. My companions and I we found a note saying someone was being held prisoner and went to check it out. It turns out it's this young girl in town and she died and now we've gotta tell her family. So dragon whiskey it is.
Yes, certainly. On the house, of course. I was hoping we would be celebrating your return today, but I guess we will also be grieving this poor woman. She runs off, grabs a bottle of dragon whiskey and several cups, and returns back. She pours you a shot, and herself a shot.
I drink it.
All right, Javier, give me a fortitude.
Okay. I'm not okay, so I'm not getting like pass out drunk. Just just a little
We're
nice
about to find out.
thirsty.
Yeah, it hits you pretty hard.
Okay, that's enough.
You still feel you feel drunk, but you don't feel like you could fall over.
Okay, I'm
But
done. I'm
you can
done with
definitely
that.
feel it.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Like, so yeah. So, what's her name again?
What is her name again?
Hang on.
Oh, 4 + 2. Ameko sits down next to you, takes a swift swig of the drink, and sets it down loudly. She looks over to you. Are you okay?
I caress her face, look into her eyes, and say, "I'm fine. It's just been a long few days since last we met, and I'm busy right now. I've got things to do. However, in 3 to 4 days, perhaps we could meet here again, and maybe I'll sing you a song or two."
She blushes and looks you over. I think this may have been a bit too strong for you, but yes, certainly you're welcome anytime.
Very well. And then I get up and, you know, do the kind of like side to side walk out.
Dominicus lolls aloud.
But I'm gonna head back.
The bard can't handle his alcohol.
Mako laughs as well. Ah, yes. Ah, he must be tired after his adventures.
So I'm gonna head back to the White Stag, go crash out so I can be ready for my lessons in the morning.
Alright, as you make your way in to the inn, you notice the streets are mostly empty. Every now and then you might see one or two people,
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Are we immune to the curfew? Like, we didn't ask anybody that.
and Javier, as you make your way down the road, the guards tend to look you over. Every couple of blocks or so you might see one. And they nod to you. Appreciate the work, hero.
I nod at every single one of them and tell them and thank them for their service to this fine city, and tell them to continue doing such an excellent job.
You make your way into the White Stag Inn, and you're once again greeted by the somber old man. Ah, welcome back, Javier. I haven't seen the folk you spoke of, but it is getting late, so I assume they may have just found somewhere else to stay for the night. Is there anything you'd like before I retire?
No, thank you, sir. Have a have an excellent night. And I just go up to my room and go to bed. That's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Give me a reflex to go up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, you're drunk as fuck. You better hope you don't fail. There you go.
Javier,
Sprints up the stairs with ease.
A drunken monkey up there.
you pull out some sweet ninja moves that you think now is a great time to practice. You hop up several steps, leap against the walls, and eventually end off with the cartwheel up the stairs.
But in reality, it's really just him falling up the stairs repeatedly.
Or so you believe.
I've just bent over with my hands on the next step and just like actually climbing. But in my mind, I'm doing some Inception shit.
In your mind, you are John Woo.
Do doves fly out of my cape?
No, not doves, but cats.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
Dominicus is going to pass 2 biscuits to Corvic and 2 biscuits to no, 2 biscuits to each of his companions that are left with him, Corvic and Kyrie. This should help get you through the night and one for in the morning. And by biscuits, I mean trail rations, of course.
Corvic accepts the ration and begins to daintily nibble on it.
So, I'm going to head upstairs. Kyrie, are you and Katos coming?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll head upstairs.
Alright. Everyone heads to bed, and the night progresses without incident. Oh man, if only I had the cuckoo sound. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
Alright, so obviously whenever we wake, first hour spent preparing spells, praying.
I'm doing that too.
I'm gonna eat breakfast and go to class. Take a lunch with me.
All right. For the first hour of the day, I will go down to this beach and swim and talk with my deceased father. After I eat my ration for the day.
Which beach are you going down to? Okay. Very good. It's a pretty clear morning. The water sparkles as you look over the horizon. And people start coming out of their homes, and the hustle and bustle of town begins again. Javier, you're going to be doing your lessons?
Yes.
Okay, very good. You are greeted by Ilsauri, and you continue your lessons.
That's like pretty much like basically that's like my day for the next 3 days. Is like my plan at the moment.
Yes, you would be attending a morning class, break for a few hours for lunch, then meet again for an afternoon class.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm paying for.
Okay, so after preparing spells for an hour, or praying, and, Kyrie preparing spells for an hour, I am going to suggest that we head to the blacksmith shop to see the progress on my weapon. Or not the blacksmith shop, the enchanter. I can't remember his name.
Let's go ahead and write that up.
Can I, wisdom check to see if I... Oh, Sava?
The finger on nose, Savith is a woman, I'll say.
Yeah. We were discussing it, we just couldn't remember what her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be
She's like
correct.
I think she's a half orc.
Actually, correction. It's 28. Whoosh.
Alright, so we're gonna head there.
What was 28? Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna approach and hail Sava.
You can see herself busying herself with the morning, polishing weapons, preparing for the day. She looks up at you. Ah, Dominicus the hero. The holy scimitar swordsman.
Ha!
The bladed savior of Sandpoint. Welcome.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Ah, you're one of my favorite patrons. Please, please, come in. What can I do for you today?
I'm simply here to see if it's time for me to offer my aid in the holy magics yet.
Ah, yes, yes. So far, they have begun progress on your weapon, but I'm afraid it's not quite ready for that. Today it is out getting enchanted to become at least first level of magical enhancement. However, I'm afraid it will take several days for this to process. I hope you understand.
I do indeed. I simply wanted to check in and see how everything is going.
I believe they said about 2 days. About 2 days more, and they should have it done.
Not a problem then. We shall return in that time.
Certainly. Until then, can I interest you in anything?
At the moment, I'm afraid not. I simply have too many concerns to deal with and not enough time in which to do so. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, I do understand. And I do appreciate all of your work. Please, please, don't let me stop you.
Indeed. Well, until next time, I bid you well.
She nods to you and picks up a weapon and begins slashing it in the air, intending to several other components in her shop.
Hold on.
What'd you say? So, from here,
Sorry,
we have...
I broke one side of my headset, so I was
Oh.
trying to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to take it off. I mean, I went to put it on, and I pulled it open to put it on, and the fucking like part where it attaches to the side just like snapped.
Oh. Savage.
Yeah. It is really old though, so it was bound to happen eventually. Just glad it happened later than sooner.
Right?
I'm actually using my roommate's headset because he's out of town for the month. Because I did the same thing on mine like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's usually where they snap at.
Yeah, unless if you're a tard like me and you step on the damn cable and pull it out the side of the headset.
Good job.
What's a cable?
Lol.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so after this, we're going to head towards the garrison.
Alright. You make your way to the garrison, and you're greeted by the guards outside.
Also, Korvik finishes up his swim and also makes his way to the garrison to join up with the rest of the group.
Alright. Hemlock's been expecting you, the guard says. Come in.
Is the sheriff about? Is he ready to speak yet? Wait, or did you say it was a guard or?
The guard led you to
Oh, okay. The guard led us
the
to.
inside of the garrison.
Okay.
Yes. And he brings you to a room with Sheriff Hemlock. He's attending to paperwork at the moment. He looks up to greet you. Ah, heroes. I'm glad glad you're here. He looks over the group. This one looks different. What happened to the frilly one?
I believe that he's in some sort of magic classes at the moment. This is our new comrade. Goes by the name of Korvik. We had to help this poor soul after they were found out and about, attacked by brigands and the sort. And we met them in the cathedral.
I see. Well, any friend of the heroes of Sandpoint is a friend of mine. I hope you are only half as strong as these.
Hold on, I broke out the duct tape.
Okay. Actually, it's not a bad time to take a quick 5-minute break. If you want to spend that time repairing your headset.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, it was a quick 5 minutes.
Duct tape. Okay,
Holds the universe together.
so. We were told that you might be interested in speaking with us about the concerns that are happening in the town with the murders and whatnot.
Yes, yes. First, let me thank you again for all you've done for Sandpoint. It's fortunate you've proven yourselves so capable, because we've a problem I think you can help us with. A problem I wish I didn't have to involve anyone with, but one that needs dealing with now before the situation grows worse. Put simply, we have a murderer in our midst, one whom I fear has only begun his work. Some of you doubtless remember the late unpleasantness, how this town nearly tore itself apart in fear as Chopper's slayings went unanswered. I'm afraid we might have something similar brewing now. In fact, last night, the murderer struck at the sawmill. There are 2 victims, and they're in pretty gruesome shape. The bodies were discovered by one of the mill workers, a man named Ivor Thorn. And by the time my men and I arrived on the scene, a crowd of curious gawkers had already sprung up. I've got my men stationed there now, keeping the mill locked down. But the thing that bothers me isn't the fact that we have 2 dead bodies inside. It's the fact that this is actually the second set of murders we've had in the last few days. I come to you for help in this matter. My men are good, but they're also green. They were barely able to handle themselves against the goblins, and what we're facing now is an evil far worse than any goblin. I need your help. But I'm afraid you'll need the help too. You see, I'm afraid that this particular murderer knows one of you as well. Hemlock looks down and sifts through his papers. He pulls out a blood-stained scrap of parchment and looks to Kyrie. Did everyone get the note?
I got it.
So, I'm gonna read the note and tell everybody else what it says. And I have no idea what it means.
This note. It was found pinned to the sleeve of the latest victims by a splinter of wood. However, I believe that this note may have just been left to throw suspicion onto you, and that I certainly don't believe that you had anything to do with the murder. But if word of this note does get out, I'm afraid the town might not have the same understanding that I do. For this reason, I don't want to start a panic.
Then we
So
have to
please,
make sure that
quiet.
nobody ever sees this.
exactly.
So, we should definitely look into this.
Yes. I already, in fact, have a few leads.
If you
First,
would.
yes, there's the lumber mill. This is where the most recent murder has taken place. Only last night. The bodies are still there, and little has been done to the crime scene itself. I think you should definitely investigate this mill. I've informed my men that you may come by and take a look. They would be expecting you. Second, we have the man who found the bodies, Ebor Thorn. I have already interrogated Ebor, and I don't really suspect much out of this man, or much more that he knows. He seems rather traumatized by the matter. Next, you have Vin Vender, the merchant who owns the general store in town. He's my only actual suspect, but I'm fairly certain that he is innocent.
Alright then.
There is a few more things. Previously, we had found 3 con men from the town of Galduria. They were found murdered in an abandoned barn south of town a few days ago. Their bodyguard survived, but he seems to have gone insane, and as such, we sent him to Habe's sanatorium.
Is that here in town?
Yes,
I believe that I might be
it's
able to help quell his troubled mind.
it's not far from town, just on the outskirts. It would take a short while to get there, but not very long.
Thank you then. Could you please mark it on our map? I pull out my map of the area that I copied from the one that's in the mayor's office.
Alright, he takes your map of the hinterlands and marks it south of Sandpoint along the Cougar Creek, yet nearby the Ashen Rise.
Well,
Now, there's one more thing that we've noticed. There seems to be a star carved in one of the victims' chest. And it seems significant, but I really don't understand it.
well, I have a bit of bad news. Of course, it'd probably be easier for Father Santos to explain it to you, considering he has the book.
The book.
Indeed. When we raided the fortress at Thistletop, we found the remains of some sort of ancient fortress below, and some sort of book dedicated to an evil god of monsters that seems to be trying to use these people as sacrifices. There are 2 more bodies in the cathedral mortuary.
I see. That is most troubling.
Indeed it is. We've already been charged by Father Santos to look into the matter, and it seems that you share his concern. As do we.
Yes, Shea Lulu had told me of your victory in Thistletop, but she did not cover such dark matters.
We didn't exactly have the most time to explain everything to her.
Yes, yes. I am, as always, indebted to you. Perhaps, if you wish to know more about this rune, I know that there is a scholar who is an expert on runes. I believe his name was Brodert Quink.
Are we saying ruins or runes?
Runes.
Runes?
Yes.
Okay.
I know he tends to visit the Great Library in Magnamar, and he does come in from time to time.
Then we shall indeed seek him out. As for now, however, I think that we should head to the freshest crime scene to see if we might be able to discern anything from it. You said that that was
Certainly.
at the lumber yard?
Yes, at the lumber mill to the south.
Then we shall head there as soon as possible. We'll return to you as soon as we have any more information that we might be able to help.
Yes. Your work is always appreciated, heroes.
Of course. Alright, let's go ahead and head out. So,
Alright.
is it time for Turin Doric Academy lunch break, or what? What's happening with that? I imagine we spent like a good, 3 or 4 hours doing all this bullshit, considering we had to meditate for an hour and then go to the armory and then go to the garrison and all that.
Yeah, it's about midday.
So what are you doing, Hobby?
I'm eating my lunch on the stairs, I guess.
Well, considering we have to head south to go to the lumberyard, I guess we're gonna run into you.
That's fine. How long do I have till the afternoon? Like, lesson or whatever. Is it more of like a night lesson or like an afternoon lesson?
Also, correction, southeast. But,
I mean, we would know where the academy is, though, because he told us where it was, so we would head
yeah, I
there.
was just talking about the lumber mill.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about Dexter.
Yeah, like,
But, yeah, you would know that typically you would get a few hours for lunch, so you might revisit again around 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
okay, so plenty of time to go to this lumber mill, huh? Because it's not very far, is it?
No, it's just several blocks over.
Oh, okay.
It's like a good,
Absolutely.
10-minute walk.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, if you care to join us, we're about to go investigate the crime scene that the sheriff filled us in on. I'll go ahead and
Okay.
share the rest of the information with him real quick.
Okay, I've got a few hours. Let's go check this out.
Finger on nose real quick. Earl,
Mm-hmm.
you have
See?
Revlobot in your channel?
I do.
Did it just say goodbye to you?
Oh? Oh, shit.
Yep. It's that day.
Oh, man.
Yep. Goodbye.
It just happened. Rip Revlobot. Even Revlobot got murdered. Is there no end to this madness?
There's no end to the insanity. That's pretty neat, though, that they made it say goodbye.
Right?
Alright,
Oof.
so after that, we'll go ahead and head to the lumber mill. And we'll explain to Javier along the way about how our friend here, Korvik, has displayed skills in tracking, and that we want to see if we might be able to find any information about these killers from the most recent crime scene.
Excellent. Glad to have you along, Korvik. We've been needing someone with just a skill set such as yours.
Of course, if there's any way I can help, I'll be glad to.
Alright, so you make your way to the lumber mill, and as you draw in close, you notice that a rather sizable crowd has gathered outside, and there's a few groups of nervous-looking town guards standing at the mill's entrance.
Okay. As we approach, I, Kyrie, and Kathos are going to survey the scene.
Aside from being a murder scene, it does appear to be fairly normal. However, if you'd like to provide a knowledge local, Kyrie, you realize something. You realize that as you were walking around last night, you knew that this lumber mill was actually working. In fact, two of the millers, Parker and Thorne, typically work late into the night. In fact, it's become a point of contention to most of the neighbors. There's usually a noisy mill with an infernally creaky log splitter that keeps the nearby townsfolk awake. And you do remember hearing this last night.
I'm going to relay that memory to Dominicus.
I'll go ahead and give everybody the quick rundown. So, obviously, basically, this place was working last night. So we can assume that it happened sometime between last night and this morning. Perhaps you might be able to discern a bit more, Corvic? Dominicus approaches one of the guards. Excuse me, might we let one of our friends here have a look at the crime scene? We believe he might be able to find something.
The guard nods silently and steps aside to let you in.
As Corvic enters into this crime scene, he begins to look around the area to see if he can find anything. Okay, let's see. What all do I see? Like footprints, bloodstains, anything like that?
Okay, so at the lumber mill, it is a very well-built wooden structure with very thick walls. The roof of wooden shingles and doors are simple timber, and they're unlocked. Where exactly are you searching? Because you have a few different points here. Inside, where you are, is the interior, which is the workshop with the log splitter. Outside is the timber pier. And then, of course, there's the river with which the pier sits upon. I guess let's start off with a perception to survey the site. Survival's more of like a tracking thing.
That's not necessarily true. Survival can be used to pick up on crime scenes and scuffles and large groups of movement and signs of combat and stuff like that.
Alright, so
Anytime
let's.
people would leave heavy footprints or markings or stuff like that, survival can be used.
Alright, yeah. I guess just kind of, if you're wanting to survival for something, just tell me what you're specifically looking for. So, as you enter into the workshop, you notice that the mill interior is coated with sawdust, strewn with footprints and splashes of blood. However, it's fairly obvious that there was a desperate struggle that took place here several hours ago. In fact, you can tell that one of the sets of footprints in particular was not only barefoot, but also reeks of rotten meat. Inside, you see 2 bodies and a suspicious axe. There's also a lingering stench of rotting flesh. As you survey the bodies, you can see a man. Kyrie, you would recognize this as Harker, one of the mill workers.
As this is happening, Dominicus pulls a paw out from under his cloak and raises it above the horrific scene and casts Detect Undead. Am I picking up any lingering traces?
Alright, 1 second. We're got a lot of things to introduce here. There is definitely a lingering aura of undeath. Alright. Let's start off with the bodies and then we'll move on to that, Dominicus.
Not a problem.
Alright. So, firstly, Harker's body. It appears to have been horribly desecrated. The poor man has been affixed to the wall by several hooks that are normally used to hang machinery. The body is severely mutilated. The face carved away and lower jaw missing entirely. His bare chest is defaced as well, bearing a strange rune in the shape of a 7-pointed star.
Okay.
The Dominicus, that lingering undeath tends to show signs around his wounds.
I can definitely feel something unholy here. I'm pretty sure that these people were killed by either undead or something extremely unholy.
As you look around and follow the trace of undeath, you find a hand axe embedded in the floor near the log splitter, as if it had been dropped there. The handle is covered with bloody finger marks. You notice, Dominicus, as you track the undeath that it shows around the edge of the axe, near the blade, where that same rotten stink emanates strongly from. Dominicus, or I guess, does anyone go closer to investigate?
Obviously. Yeah, I'm not just gonna let undead shit like chill right there. I'm gonna go try to figure out what the hell the source of this is.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
As far as magic stands, there doesn't seem to be any trace of real magic here. Dominicus, as you draw closer to the hand axe, go to pick it up and investigate it, you are hit
Whoa,
with
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa. Never said I picked it up. I'm just
go
getting
toward.
real close to it to look at it.
Yes, exactly. As you go towards the hand axe, the stench of undeath hits you. Give me a DC 13 fortitude save for being within close proximity of the hand axe.
Perpow.
Yes, Dominicus, you're already familiar with this stench. It doesn't seem to bother you as much, though it is horrific.
I'm almost
There,
certain that this was accomplished by an undead by now.
But it couldn't have been any kind of like normal zombie type undead. They wouldn't have been wielding a weapon like that, huh?
I'm not sure, but I bet I know who does. Dominicus looks at the person pinned to the wall. I hate to have to do this to another poor soul. Dominicus walks forward and pulls out his holy symbol and clutches it and prays to the name of Saren Ray and lays a hand upon the corpse and casts Speak with the Dead.
alright, so I'm gonna throw. Give me 1 second to work out the exact logistics of this because this man no longer has a face or a jaw.
Okay, I can fix that. Dominicus casts Restore Corpse.
Clerics.
Yep, I'll restore the corpse to its original state.
Alright. Your healing magic flows through the corpse and restores a loose, bloody jaw. A faint amount of skin begins to regrow over his face. As his spirit returns back to his corpse to answer your questions.
Well, he's here, Javier. Ask your questions, I suppose.
What killed you?
The creature. It came in the night. I do not know what it was.
What can you tell us about it? What did it look like?
It was horrific. The image of a ghastly looking man, rotting flesh, decay.
Which direction did it come from?
I do not know. He attacked me in the night. I wait here for my love. And he sneaks upon me in the dark of night.
Was there only one?
Yes, the one.
Did the creature bear this mark? And I hold up my medallion.
I do not know. There was a struggle. Not enough could be determined. It all went so fast.
I'm not sure that there's anything else this poor soul will be able to help us with. Unless anyone else has any more questions, I suggest we release him.
Yeah, that's all I can think of for now.
Okay. Dominicus touches the corpse again and removes the spell.
As his spirit fades away, he calls out, Katrine.
I'm not sure what that meant. But I'm sure that someone in town has to know.
Which brings us to the next gruesome sight. At the log splitter. There remains the mangled, ruin remains on the lower floor amid heaps of blood-stained firewoods of a young woman. It appears as if she's been torn into pieces.
Dominicus looks at Kathos.
The trail of blood down to the pile of firewood leads up to the log splitter above.
This is horrible. I'm not even sure what to do.
Korvik, you've been investigating the murder scene, following the bloody tracks, and you reveal that the footprints, the same barefoot, rotting footprints, lead down to the pier. It follows down into the mud under the pier and tracks up the wall to an upper floor window.
Okay. Korvik turns to the rest of the party and relays all this information.
Well, we can't go chasing into the woods after it now. We don't have no idea where it could be.
I have a feeling it'll be back. I wonder if we could watch this play. I wonder if it always comes in the same way. Maybe we could watch this, or watch the piers, or tell the guards to keep an eye on the piers. Because if they're not getting in the gate, then they must be getting in a similar fashion in other places in town.
Okay.
Maybe we should, tell the mayor to tell the guard, or tell the guards.
I mean, I have a spell that I could use if we really think that they're coming through here.
What spell? What does it do?
I know an incantation of warding. I can make sure that if any undead were to pass through here, I would know that it was triggered.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. Because, I don't know. Do we know about the, location of where the other murders were happening? Are they all on this side of town, or are they all over the town, or?
So far, you've heard about the corpse that washed up on the western shore,
Okay.
as well as this murder here. And of course, you recently found the murder at the bandit camp to the east.
Okay. So, twice we found it in the east, and once something washed up. Yeah, I say you could try your wording. It might work. They're probably coming from the east.
How large is this section of wall?
They're certainly not coming through the gates.
Which section?
The section of wall that this thing came over, does this wall go all the way around the city? Because I see, parts where it doesn't go.
Oh, you're talking about, the gates and stuff? Yeah, the primary wall is, of course, the one to the north. However, the lower sections of town, especially here at the lumber mill, is mostly open, as they tend to use the water here to power their log splitter. There are a couple of bridges, one to the north and one to the south, that are mostly just open.
But this thing came from the dock.
The Yeah, you see the tracks of mud underneath the pier here, and that's where you lose the trail. Otherwise, there's a natural marsh border to the south and to the east.
How large is the pier?
The pier is fairly large.
Give me a square footage.
Jiminy Christmas.
It's a fucking warding spell.
Alright, so, like, are you asking for length, width, height?
Like, how long is the pier, like, in square footage? The section of pier where this thing, like, came up on.
Alright, we'll call it about...
I'm assuming it's like that part right there that juts out, not this part here at the tip.
Yeah, right here it's definitely underwater, but the tracks of mud stop around here where the pier connects into the actual lumber mill.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll say a good 75 feet.
Okay, well, I can cover 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet of that with the ward. And I am going to set it for undead kind. So for the next 10 minutes I'm going to stand here drawing runes and doing incantation. And Dominicus is also going to raise a paw to Javier and say, I don't suppose you have 100 gold pieces on you to help me pay for this?
I'm sorry, I only have 20 gold. These lessons were quite expensive.
Dominicus says, I suppose I'll pay for it this time.
I'm sorry. When we come into some more money, I'll help you out, but I only have 20 gold for the time being.
Alright, so I'll pay my 200 and fucking, yeah. So for 10 minutes I'm doing this.
Alright.
So, what were the other two places that we could explore in the lumber mill?
You have the murder scene, the interior inner workshop, where you have what you have identified as the man Harker, the mill worker, who is currently hooked to the wall. You have the log splitter, which is not that far by, where you have found the mangled remains of a young woman. You have the pier, just outside, where you found the footprints leading into the mill. And then, of course, you have this river here where the pier sits upon. As well as, of course, you know, all the natural geography around it.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna wait for 10 minutes to pass if nobody else has anything else.
I got nothing.
Okay, so after I finish the warding, I'm going to say, well, it's the best I can do for now. I suggest that we head to the cathedral now, though, as a group, and explain to the poor Idris family what happened to their daughter.
Yes. Also, that man, he said a name before he expired again. What was it? Christina or something like that?
I believe he was referring to her. Dominicus points towards the inner area.
Ah. Alright. Well,
Javier,
yes.
give me a knowledge local.
Alright, hang on a sec. 16.
Alright. You recognize the name. The name Katrine.
Katrine.
And suddenly it clicks. There was a Katrine. She had a last name. Vendor.
Katrine Vendor. I seem to remember a woman named Katrine Vendor somewhere here in town. Maybe she's his love. Maybe she can tell us more about who he is and what he was doing, and perhaps that might shed some more light on the situation.
Assuming she's still alive and that that's not her, then I think that's a pretty good plan.
Would I know where she is or where to likely find her?
Katrine?
Yeah.
Do you recognize the last name?
Vendor? Is that the general goods?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The general goods. She works at the general goods store.
Well, then we'll have to stop by there. Of course, I imagine that'll probably have to wait until we talk to this family.
Oh yes. We still haven't told them about that.
Well,
Alright.
then let's head there now then, so that we can try to make as much time as possible.
I'm gonna head back to school. Or is it about time for my afternoon? Do I need to get back or do I have a little more time?
It's been about an hour.
So I've got like what, 2 hours left?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll come along.
Wait, what? Is he going with us, or is he going to school? What?
No, I'm coming with you guys.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, let's go into the cathedral then.
Alright, you head into the cathedral. And Father Santos is busy as usual.
Father Santos, hail.
Yes. Dominicus, hail. Glad to see you back,
Glad
he
to
says
see-
with a sigh.
Glad to see that you've got a little bit of rest.
Yes, a little bit. As have the Idris family. I suspect you'll be wanting to speak with them.
I believe that it's about time that we should. I'm sure that they deserve an explanation. At least as much as we know.
Yes, they are eating their lunch over in the common area.
Well, I suppose that we'll go make our way over there then.
He nods to you.
Alright, let's walk over there then. This ought to be fantastic.
You find the two middle-aged people, the couple, sitting down to a rather humble lunch with soup and water. The old man looks up and sees you. Ah, the hero. I've been wanting to thank you. I I remember seeing your face, but that's the last I remember of yesterday. Thank you. He stands up.
I'm afraid that you might want to wait with your thanks until we deliver a bit more news to you. I'm afraid that we found your daughter out in the woods amongst a camp of Pagans. Her body is in the mortuary now. Should be prepped for last rites in your viewing by now. I'm sorry that we could not save her, but she did let us know that she wanted to make sure that she made it home to you.
The woman drops her spoonful of soup and begins yelling to you. Mimina? You can't be speaking of Mimina.
We didn't
Please,
exactly catch her
tell me
first
it's not
shot.
her.
She just told us that she was the daughter of the Aegis family.
A look of shock covers the woman's face as tears begin to stream down her eyes. The man stares deeply at you. You mean to say our daughter is dead?
I'm afraid so.
Been searching for her for days.
As have we. Unfortunately, we were too late.
The man walks over to his wife and grabs her in a tight embrace. An eerie silence, only met with the sobbing of the woman, hangs in the air.
We're not going to let this pass, though, I assure you. We will find whoever did this.
Is there any reason you can think of that these bandits may have abducted your daughter specifically?
The man turns his head to you, bloodshot, teary eyes. I I know she got caught up with some tavern folk. This accursed town. Bandits and vagabonds, all of them.
What tavern were these tavern folk from?
She thought it keen to go to that rusty dragon. Spend her time meeting the townsfolk, as she'd like to call it.
Hmm.
He spits down on the ground. Should have never come to this town. We thought simpler folk here. Less corruption than that in Magnamar. They're all the same.
What do you mean by corruption?
You know the like. Cutthroats. Drunkards.
Hmm. And did you have any personal dealings with any of the people that you're describing? In Magnamar or here, or perhaps along the way?
I'm a traitor, of course I did.
Do you think any
It's
of those
hard to avoid.
do you think any of those people might have had something to do with this?
I don't know. I've been searching for my daughter for days now. All I know is she liked to go to the tavern, make merry with the folk in town, and here we are. She's dead. Gone.
Very well, sir. I apologize for upsetting you.
You'll have to
There-
excuse our friend. He means well, but we understand that this isn't, the easiest thing for you to talk about. But anything that you might know, anything that you might be able to help us with, would greatly help us find the people who've done this and bring them to justice.
The only thing I remember last was we were searching for a daughter when a strange man met us and handed us a letter.
Do you remember anything about the man? What he was wearing? Maybe any jewelry or scars or tattoos? Anything?
He was cloaked, and he left just as soon as he had came, before I could even open the letter. He instructed me to read it in private, and after that, my wife and I fell ill. I do remember the letter was signed by a your lordship.
What did the letter say?
It was didn't make any sense. Talking about his lost love, clearly the scribblings of a madman, said that he would make our daughter appreciate him.
Well, we'd hate to pester you any further than we already have, and we hate to be the bearer of bad news as it is. But, like I said before, I'm sure that by now your daughter's body is ready for your viewing before they lay her to rest. If there are any specific things that you would like done with her body, now might be the time to go tell them. And until then, I suppose that we'll leave you to it, and we'll come back to you as soon as we've found something else out.
Yes. Yes. He trails off. I should take Ingsol away. We've been through so much lately. I appreciate you bringing our daughter back. At least we will get to see her one last time.
Well, as I said, we'll leave you to it. I'm gonna go ahead and bow out.
He returns back to comforting his wife. Come now, Ingsol.
Javier's gonna suggest going to the general store and talking to Katrine Bender. No one has any objections.
Well, there's not really anything else to do now, except, wait, I guess. I mean, we could go tell the sheriff that we placed a ward on the docks, but that's about as effective as putting a mouse trap, you know, in a coliseum.
When that man was expiring earlier there, he mentioned Katrine. I think he was talking about Katrine Vendor from the general goods store. Maybe she might know. Maybe she could tell us more about who he was, why he was there, why he may have been killed or had dealings with some
Well,
creature.
we do have a bit more time before you have to return to your studies, don't we?
Yes, probably what, an hour and a half, something like that.
Say you got about another hour left.
Yeah, got an hour.
Well, then let us head there. You know, wherever it is.
One sec.
I'm all over the map. Dimension door.
Hmm.
26. Alrighty. There you go. Directly across from the academy.
Perfect.
Alright, you make your way to the general store.
Well, you
And
seem
there
to
don't
know
seem
the
to be
people
any
here.
customers there.
Yeah, you seem to know the people here, Javier. Perhaps we should let you lead this one. Dominicus taps him on the back and casts Bless.
Very well. I walk into the store, and do I know what Katrine looks like, or have I just heard her name?
You've only heard her name. You
Oh,
know what several of the vendors look like, but not this one.
okay. So, is there like a counter or a clerk or something?
As you walk into the store, the bell rings. You can hear what sounded like an argument beforehand behind the back room suddenly falls to a hush.
Hmm. I I gesture with my head towards where the sounds were coming from and look back at everyone else and say, "Well, this is awkward."
Dominicus mutters, everything's awkward when you're around.
After several moments,
What?
hmm? After several moments, a woman steps forward from the back. She looks tired. I'm afraid we're closed. Oh, it's you.
Greetings,
Van.
greetings, madam. Is Katrine in?
As the man steps forward, and you mention the name Katrine, he stops dead in his tracks.
Ah, it's this guy again.
He
Dominicus
is
touches himself and casts enhanced diplomacy.
he is staring daggers at you, Javier. Bloody daggers.
Yeah, that's why I sent you
Yeah.
in.
Okay, yeah, I'm so I'm like, oh crap. And then I just kind of like slowly back up and tap Dominicus on the
Don't you
shoulder.
move.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dominicus says, "We're here to try to solve a murder."
Yes, the murder of my daughter.
What?
I'm well aware of what happened to Katrine.
What happened to her?
Don't play dumb with me. I know you had something to do with this.
22.
First, you're after my daughter Shaylis. Now Katrine.
I assure you it wasn't us. You have to help us. We're trying to figure this out.
We found the body of a young man at another murder site across town. And my friend here has this trick where you can ask dead people questions. And so we asked him a few questions, and as he mentioned waiting for his love and being attacked by some sort of creature. And as he expired, he said the name of your daughter. And we were just here to try to get information on him, who he is, anything you might or might not know.
Yes, I know that my daughter has been out seeing that filthy mill worker. And this is what it gets her. You can come here and pretend to solve a mystery, but I know you had something to do with it. However, this one, the
This
Holy One,
This
may not,
motherfucker talking
but
about
you,
mysteries and shit with his Scooby-Doo looking ass. That was what Devin said.
Mr. Hyde White.
She said he looks like the ghostly fisherman.
I swear to God. Ben's mood settles just slightly as he turns to Dominicus. What have you say about this?
We've been to the murder scene. We've also been to several other murder scenes that were close to the same thing. We're saying that these things are connected. It's not us, it's not anyone from this town. We found proof of that. We just need any information that you might be able to give us that could help us solve these problems. Do you know anyone who might have any reason to target your daughter? Or any reason to target the lumber mill?
I don't know a single thing about it. All I know is I had a daughter yesterday and not today. All I know is she's been seeing this mill worker. I told her he was no good for her.
I'm sorry that more hardship has befallen you. I suppose that we'll have to take our leave then and search for clues elsewhere. If there's
Now, if you
anything that we can do, again, please let us know.
The only thing I wish is for your kind to leave my family alone.
Dominicus cuts eyes at him. Perhaps we should leave.
I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna walk out. I'm gonna go. Like, yeah, I'm good. I can leave you alone, man.
By this point, Vin has already walked off. A few moments later, you hear a loud crash from the back and cursing.
Yeah, we're just gonna leave.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to school.
Okay, so I guess it's about time for you to head back to your studies then.
Yes, Il Celery will be expecting me. I nod and head back to the academy. It's like right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go do class. I'll see you guys at the tavern again tonight then, as I'm
Indeed.
walking away. Excellent.
I'm going to head back to the tavern as well.
I will follow suit and also go back to the tavern. Rusty Dragon Inn.
Kyrie and Caitlyn's fella.
Alrighty. Javier, you have your lessons. Everyone else is headed back to the tavern.
Indeed. Okay, so as we enter the tavern, Dominicus is going to order up some cream and grilled fish. And some some delicious foodstuffs for Kyrie as well.
Very good.
Speaking of which, we're approaching the end, so everybody, start wrapping up your stuff for tonight.
So far, it ends up just being a fairly somber day.
I'm also
Javier?
going to read my book on Sarenrae again.
Yes, Dominicus will study, Javier does his lessons, and the rest of the afternoon continues. Or rather, continues without event.
Hey, well then, as the night draws on in, I assume that after we've all finished our meals and our, general socializing and studying and whatnot, that we're all going to retire after Javier meets back up with us and we have a drink or two.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Alright. We'll just go ahead and time lapse the rest of this day and start off tomorrow.
Okay,
Unless
well,
if anyone
first.
would like to do a drinking game or
No, good.
Javier.
No, I spit myself down to 20 gold, so I'm gonna be responsible and make it to my lessons on time.
Alright, very good.
So in the morning, an hour preparing spells, an hour praying.
I eat breakfast and make lunch. BLT.
Alright, everyone going about their daily activities?
Corvic once again heads back to this beach for some time of swimming.
I'm just gonna go to class.
Alright, well, there's not really anything that any of us can do till the next day, considering we both have to wait for the last day of class and then my weapon to get made. Unless something specific comes up while we're just wandering about town looking at stuff and reading. Yeah, or swimming, or going to class, or anything.
Other than an eeriness about town, the townsfolk seem a bit more quiet. Those joyous looks, greetings of heroes, seem to have slowed down. Now you're met with staring whispers, and most people try to keep to themselves. Then we can time lapse one more day if anyone else has anything special to do.
Nah, sir. I know I'm about to go to the store and go get me some chili dogs. But IRL.
Yeah. Alright. And I don't know if you want to call it here or do the last day here.
It'd probably be best to, stop it here because after this, we're gonna move out, I imagine. Go try to find out where these things are coming from, considering we figured out that one of them was coming from the east. I mean, and to the west of us is just ocean, so I mean, if something came from that way, there's not any way that we can get to it. But, that's depending on what you have planned.
Yeah, I want to time lapse the last day so I can finish this up.
Alright, then, yeah, we'll go ahead and do the last day if you want. Dominicus, you are free to pick up your +1 scimitar with the holy symbol affixed to it.
On it.
Javier, as you finish up your afternoon lessons, You feel you have learned a lot more about how to properly use your physical attributes when casting spells.
Oh snap!
But as you prepare to leave, Ilsari stops you.
Sir,
Javier, I must let you know. I've done some searching, and I've found an expert, one whom you may want to speak with. That artifact you spoke of. There's a man, Brodert Quink.
Brodert Quink.
Yes. So far, he is currently staying in the western side of town, next to the ruins of the old light. Which I'll ping it on the map over here. He said he would be willing to have a meeting with you tomorrow, if you care to speak with him.
Yes, absolutely. Please set it up.
Excellent. I will send word to him this afternoon, and he will be expecting you.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, for all that you've taught me. And if I can help you in some way in the future, or or if I need your services again, I will be sure. Uh, you know, let me know, or I'll let you know. And I will definitely tell others of what a fine establishment you run here, so that perhaps you can increase your business a bit.
Yes, you're not quite so bad as I originally thought, too.
Hmm. I get that a lot. Thank you
I'm
again,
sure
sir.
you do.
Thank you again, sir, for everything you've done. I shall see you around. Oh, wait, but before I go. Nah, never mind. Alright, I'm just gonna go.
Yes, until next time.
And I kind of do a little bow and exit. And I have a familiar now. Right? Or is it gonna like come to me in a dream or something?
Tomorrow you feel like you could establish the connection.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go seek out Dominicus and tell him about this Brudert Quink and how I have a meeting with him and all that. I'm gonna just seek them out and let them know about that. And then after that, I don't really have any plans. I was just gonna go back to the White Stag and go to bed.
Alright. I think that's a pretty good stopping point there.
Seems good to me.
Yeah. Happy about that.
It's a pretty sweet sword.
Oh wait, that should be bladed and slashing, not bladed and piercing.
Right. Or slashing piercing. Actually, I think scimitars are just slashing.
Oh yeah, because it's only blunt, piercing, and slashing. Yeah, so yeah, it would just be slashing then.
Yes, purely slashing. However, don't forget, being a scimitar does have a threat range of 18 to 20. And you now have the silver um, holy symbol affixed directly above the sword guard. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's see if I can. There you go. I'll go ahead and link it so you can get a nice visual of it. So, your sword guard now resembles that of a holy angel with a radiant halo.
That's pretty
Fancy.
badass. That's pretty badass. Can I have Renegade now?
You have what? Renegade?
Yeah. Just, I'll explain that later.
Oh, jeebus.
It's purely cosmetic, even though that's stupid.
Oh, that's okay. That's an eye thing.
Yeah. I am gonna link.
Renegade.
I am gonna.
Yeah, Earl, just go ahead and look at my character sheet for the scimitar and make sure I set up everything right.
Cool, cool.
And yeah, I assume we're gonna go ahead and call it here.
I think it's a pretty good stopping point. You've discovered the murders. You have a few leads. You've investigated one of them.
Yep.
So yeah,
yeah, we can pretty much move full steam ahead on the next campaign. Or the next iteration of the campaign.
next Friday.
Indeed, whenever we continue with part 16 of the Rise of the Runelords campaign. So I hope everybody has enjoyed their time here. If you have, feel free to drop a follow on mine or Split Lungs Blood Thunder's channels, or both. And don't forget, like I said, I will be putting the stream for tonight up on YouTube very shortly. So if anybody missed it, you will have the opportunity to watch it there. And if you're watching it there, then thank you very much. And until next time, we hope you all had a good time. We will see you all then. Later.